Mordred. Hey, bro, it's good to see you. How are you?
Good to see you. Thanks for having
Oh, thanks for joining. Like Death Angel, Mordred was a band born from the Bay Area thrash scene. And for
me.
those of you who are, and for those of you who are not familiar with their music, I'm going to be playing a couple of tunes, my favorites today during this live stream. I'm in the mood to geek out with Mordred, with the rest of the world out there who's watching. And for the viewers who are watching, if you got questions for me and Scott, just post that in the comments and we'll answer as many as we can. So, Scott, Mordred
Yes.
has always been a Bay Area favorite of mine. You guys are
Thank you very
metal.
much.
You guys are a metal band, but you guys kind of have a little twist, a little twist or two in your music, and which at the time was certainly very innovative and risky, if I might add. I mean, how would you describe Mordred to the world, your music, your style? I mean, how would you describe
Well,
it?
it's sort of like an experimental band born out of thrash metal and always having a root in the really heavier sound, but then having a lot of different influences. We might hear something from a Zydeco song and be like, how could we put that rhythm into metal? Or you might hear something in, oh gosh, I mean, of course, obviously we did soul music and funk music as and integrated hip hop of the time into what we were into at the time back then. We just kind of integrated anything that we loved about. There would be parts of songs and we just like, oh man, that's it. That sound right there is it. And we're like, how can we do that? And sometimes it'd be a challenge. It didn't always work on every song. I mean, I listen back to some of it, I'm like, ah. But for the most part, I was pretty happy with what we came up with. And it was nice because, like you said, there wasn't really anyone else doing the kind of stuff we were doing at the time. Now, since then, people have done some kind of similar things to some of the things we went for. But at the time, it was nice, be kind of different,
Yeah,
being rooted in the metal.
I think so too. I think you guys have a unique style. Now, I want to touch upon something. Your first album, Fool's Game, um, definitely straightforward thrash, but
Hmm.
you had two songs on that album that featured a DJ Pause.
Yes.
I can say that was the first I ever heard of a fusion between metal, funk, hip hop coming together. Now, I was hearing something I never heard before for sure. It was something new. So, how did that collaboration start, and whose idea was it to bring Pause in?
Well, at the time, we practiced down at Turk Street in San Francisco, and across the hall from us was MCM and the Monster, who Paz was playing as a live DJ in the rock band. And MCM and the Monster was a great band. We used to go see him all the time. And Paz was our good buddy. All those guys were our good friends. And we just were like making a record. And we were down there and we said, hey, Paz, we're doing this for our record. Could you, lay something on it? And he's like, oh yeah, sure. Sets up his turntables. And we're like, holy shit, that shit's badass. So we're like, let's do that on the record. So we did that. We recorded it and everything. He came up and did it. And at that time, he wasn't in the band. He was just kind of like coming in to do this kind of thing. And so it turned into, we love that sound so much. We're like, how could we get Pause on some more songs on the next record? So we ended up putting him on pretty much all the songs.
Yeah, I was gonna get to that because your second album, In This Life, DJ Pause has become a full member now, right?
Yeah.
He's in the band, and to me, this is where you guys evolved from your first album, and this album, In This Life, was like, okay, this is the Mordred sound. This is Mordred. You know, you guys came to your own. But you know, I'm gonna play a couple songs off that album in a little bit, just a tad bit. But first, tell us about the evolution and what was inspiring you guys when you guys were creating In This Life.
You cut out for 1 second, but I think you said what was inspiring us when we writing In This Life.
What was going on through your heads? What was your influences on making In This Life?
At that time, we were listening to a lot of like Ice-T Power era hip hop stuff.
Yeah.
And we used to go to this club, the Covered Wagon, and the DJ there would play like the current hip hop track, and then he would play the soul song that it came from and kind of put them together. So we were getting hip to some of these songs that were like more obscure soul stuff and rare groove kind of stuff, as opposed to just like, you know, super freaking like, you know, Flashlight and all this kind of like, you know, stuff that was really out there. We were getting into some like real rare groove and obscure kind of stuff. And then at the same time, the hard ass hip hop shit that was out. Eric B. and Rakim.
Yeah.
You know, I guess
EPMD
kind of came out a little bit after all that, or right around that same time. But it was more like Ice-T Power was our big jam. And then the Sly and the Family Stone Fresh album.
Mm-hmm.
We played that nonstop for like a couple of years. So those were like the main ones. And then of course like Exodus and Death Angel and Legacy. That was one of my favorites back in the day, which became Testament.
Yeah.
You know, all the stuff, Metallica, all that kind of stuff that was around that we were listening to. And then like a lot of, you know, punk rock stuff at the time. I was listening to a lot of PIL, and I mean, that's not really punk, but Post, The Damned, and Code of Honor was one of my favorites. 7 Seconds, Circle Jerks, like all those Southern California punk bands, DOA, the Canadian bands, SNFU, like all that kind of stuff, all put together. We were listening to all that hard riding our skateboards.
Yeah, man.
By day, listening with our cassette mixes on our Walkmans, and pulling through to the practice space, just ready to just spit.
Yeah. But and I also hear a lot of some James Brown in This Life too, you know?
Oh, definitely. James Brown and the JBs were probably like the biggest kind of influence on like Danny's guitar playing when he first started kind of doing the, you know, kind of playing the funk stuff.
Yeah.
And actually, you know, I guess before it was even James Brown kind of invented the funk.
Yeah.
When he got in his band, you know?
Yeah.
But
all right.
He didn't really invent it. That was happening. There was stuff popping, and it goes back even to the 60s when there were, you know, just those trios you'd see in the background in movies and stuff. And they'd just be and be the strip club or wherever in the movie, and they'd be like, wow, that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Of all that.
Well, you know, you guys did it right, and I'm gonna play one of my. I'm gonna play a couple songs off In This Life. This one is, you know, a couple tunes, my favorite off this record. And before I do that, I'm kind of curious, you know, if you have a favorite on that album.
I'm curious what you.
Well,
I'm curious what your favorite one is.
Well, it's my show, so I'm gonna play my favorites. It may not be your favorite, you know.
I don't need it to be my favorite. I'm curious which one is your favorite, my friend.
Yeah. Well, you know, the first one. Well, before I want to hear what your favorite is. One of your favorites off In This Life. Then I'll let you know mine, and I'll play it.
Let me think. So I liked, well, of course, like Falling Away, but I think High Potency is my favorite one on that record.
Wow. That's one of mine. One of mine, but the one I'm going to play here, the first one is The Strain.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man, here, I'm gonna share my screen with everyone right here. Everyone who don't have this album, they should get it, but I'm gonna play one of my favorites. So me and Scott are gonna listen to this with the rest of the world right now. Here we go. I love this part right here.
Give me top box.
Oh man, dude, that's such a good song, bro. That's such a good song, man. Hey, what's that song about?
It's about a kid who gets involved in some bad situations, and then it just sort of goes to the greater social problem of the time, which, you know, a lot of drugs, crack. So yeah, the feller was selling crack in the streets, and you know, the strain itself is society, the strain. And the time, it's funny because Mordred seems to come out in dire times, in dire economic times, in times of plague, in times of scourge of drugs, collapse of society, all these things. That's when we come out. You know, we never come out in the good times. We wait till times are bad.
That's when that's when the best music gets created. You know what I mean?
Well, I do appreciate you saying that. I'm humbled
Yeah.
by your compliments, my friend.
It's a great song. I mean, it's everyone who's heard it. I'm not going to say anymore, but just pick up In This Life. But there's a couple of we got some questions here. Let's just tackle a couple of questions. There's this girl, Melanie Jones. She said, Scott, you look like you're in court or church. Which is it, darling?
Well, this is actually my dining room.
All right. Nice.
Yeah, look
lovely
at that
place.
Fixture, huh?
Yeah.
So it's I like the dark wood though.
I do too.
I painted it that color too. That's my red. I don't know. Can't do it. All right. You see that?
Yeah, I see it. I like red. I like the color.
Oh, and of course, you see the devil mask up there?
I see it. I see it. Hey, this is we'll do one more question before I continue. Adrian Gutierrez says,
yes,
that reminds me of a band called Fungo Mungo back in the day.
Oh,
whoa.
Well, that's Jeff Gomes, our drummer. He used to play in that band.
Yeah, and he plays with you guys now, right?
Yes, he's been our drummer for about 8-9 years now.
Wow. Yeah, what a trip. Bay Area native. Fungo Mungo is a great band. Great band.
Yeah, they were definitely a great band and good friends of ours. Very good friends.
Yeah. So I'm going to play another tune from In This Life. And this next one, I think this song is like next to the strain. It just encompasses all of what Mordred is Esse, Quam, Videri.
Oh.
So, I mean, I know that song, I think it means to be seen, but what does that song mean to you?
It means to seem rather than to be.
Yeah. So, I mean, is there a particular story behind that tune for you? Something personal,
and then
maybe?
To be rather than to seem.
Yeah.
It was how shall I put this? A sort of a young singer's sort of fantasy love affair kind of thing. That's what you're thinking about when you're like, I think I was about 19 years old when I wrote that tune. So, I had this romantic vision of, just some kind of interlude, but it wasn't really, it was just made up.
Just made up, huh? Yeah, man. Well,
but hey, made a good song, right?
It made a great song.
And then I met my wife and I was happy. Yay.
There you go. But now I'm going to play that song. I want the whole world who's ever watching to check it out. It's a really cool song. And DJ Paz actually raps on that song too, right?
Yes. So it was like a young man's romantic, slightly off vision of love at the time.
All right, let's give this a listen. I said it right? Esse, Quam, Videri?
Esse, Quam, Videri.
All right, here we go. Esse, Quam, Videri. Enjoy this, everyone.
Bam. Oh wait, is that Mo Cabestani in the video? It is.
DJ Paz.
Secret lover. All right, here comes pause.
Let's get on the roll. I'm on the women. Some are taking and some are giving. Once you get them, they gotta keep flowing. Get them started and I gotta keep going. Back and forth on the grind. Gotta make it better than the last time. The sweat from cash to toe. I can't hold back. I'm going for the go. Body's flashing, lust is laughing. Don't know your name, no time for asking. Say I'm a hero, not no zero. I don't wanna hear what your face in the pillow.
Man, that is the jam, bro. That is the jam. And I just want to remind people out there that this came out in 1991, dude. It's just music innovation, dude. I mean, you guys were way ahead of your time. And when, moving forward, when the year 2000 hit and, the whole new metal thing, like, Limp Bizkit, Crazy Town, all these bands that had DJs in their band, they didn't do it as good as you, bro. They didn't do it as good as you guys. You know what I mean?
Well, I am happy that, that kind of style went on. I mean, whether we were a pioneer or what in that style, I don't love everything that happened after it, but some of that stuff was pretty good. And, I'm happy.
Yeah, I mean, I want to talk about that song because that song, every musician, everybody on that song shines, and you guys more just.
Well, thank you very much.
I want to talk about the members of your band. You guys are all skilled. Could you give us a background on each guys?
Sure. Our drummer Jeff Gomes, who we talked about a minute ago, was playing in Fungo Mungo and Merv for years, and toured around with all these bands, Jerry Cantrell and Cheap Trick, and all these. He's got all these fucking hilarious stories. He's always telling them shit they did on the road. Let's see. Jim Sanguinetti, one of 2 guitar players I've ever worked with that is so locked in. He can drink 6 beers. Not that he's going to do that now, but I'm saying he can do it. Play a track, exactly play that track again, and then record it a 3rd time just to make sure that, and we usually end up using the 1st and the 2nd take. The only person that's ever been that tight is Allison Madonna's. She could lock herself in, but that's rare.
Very rare. Then you have
Carlos not locked in, dude. Yeah. Carlos Santana.
Then all the other guys, man. Anyone?
Jim's fucking amazing. Let's see, Danny White. I mean, he's a bad motherfucker. He, Jesus Christ, he's been playing since he's a kid and just crazy. He went to GIT, went to Berkeley Music. He's like very schooled. And he works in some high-end learning thing for students to learn from him, doing the music and guitar and all that. And then Art Laboon, he is just an individual all to himself. If you could take Captain Kirk and Mr. Spock and roll them into one guy and then put a bass in his hand, roll him out on a skateboard, that is Art. He is a very talk about individual. If you think this band is individual in that we are different, that man is very different in other ways, all good ways, but it makes for fun and amusing time. Especially if you get a couple of Jamesons in him, he is fucking hilarious. And who else is in the band? DJ Pause.
Yeah.
Like I said, he's been playing with us for a super long time, but he played in MCM the Monster before us. Mm-hmm. So I guess they're really officially the first rock band with a DJ. Although we claim to be.
Totally.
The
But yeah,
tweet
man.
comes out in 2020. That you get your 2020 vision in 2020. You know what I mean?
Totally. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna change this up here out of my normal program. I'm gonna play one more song off In This Life, your favorite, High Potency.
Oh, thank you very much.
Then after that, I want to jump to what you guys are doing today. So
Okay.
before we play High Potency, I usually ask, people who are on the show, your favorite tour memory, anything cool on stage that happened that, people remember you or you remember or something like that?
Well, there was the time that I showed up to the gig, Blue
Oh,
Dynamo Festival, and I think it was 89 or it could have been 90. I can't remember when our first time was there, but Death Angel was the headliner.
well,
Was the opener. Of
nice.
this. And I don't think many people had really heard us yet at this point or whatever. So anyhow, I got the idea. I was like, I think I'm going to paint my entire body blue. And they're like, like the guys in my band already knew I was weird and they didn't really trip off it. They're just like, they'd walk by and be like, oh yeah, missed a spot. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, and then when I popped out, just nobody had any idea what the fuck I was doing or, and that was a good launching to, what you were going to get with Mordred.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny because we played Holland quite a few times as you guys, and they remember that Dynamo Festival and they call it Blue Dynamo.
The Blue Dynamo.
The Blue Dynamo.
See, and we were the opening band.
Yeah, and before I play High Potency, I have a photo of Blue Dynamo that I want to share with the people out there in the world. Let me see what I could do. Let me see if I can pull up. Oh, here it is. There we go.
Oh,
and
shit.
ladies and gentlemen, that's Scott Holderby painted himself blue at the Dynamo Festival. And we're going to play High Potency. And you can look at this photo and listen to the song because it goes right together. Here we go.
You can see the crowd shining off my glasses.
Yeah.
This is my jam right here.
This is where it gets badass right here. man.
Just
Blue
hit, man.
Dynamo. That's, dude. There we go.
Dude,
There
what
we
do I
go.
think? I'm fucking Krishna or something?
Hey, before I jump to today's Mordred, let's check out a couple of questions here. Let me see. Sean Riggin, is every day still a holiday?
Yes, it is. Yes.
It is?
Every day's still a holiday. I got 5 days off for COVID though.
Hey.
But no,
There you go.
I've been working solid.
Yeah.
That's sarcastic, right?
Yeah. I saw the first album, and I like that song too.
I'm just saying, every day has been a struggle, but every
It
day
has
is a
been.
holiday. I'm living life to the fullest and enjoying every minute of it.
Gotcha. But let me jump to Mordred of today. You guys have an album and a single out. What's the deal? You recorded an album, right?
Yeah, so we recorded an album and we've been working on this thing for like a couple of years and mixing it and doing all this business, right? So we go to make the actual master for the album, right? And the mastering engineer is like, you've got way too many songs to put on, two sides of a record. So we're like, well, how many do we have? Whatever. So we ended up, so the EP is another side to the other side. So it's basically like 3 sides of one album.
Gotcha.
Sense.
So what's the album or EP called? Do you have 2 different names or is it just one name?
We do. Yeah, so we have the EP, 4 songs, and it's called Volition. And we just dropped the first song, I think not last night, but the night before.
Okay.
And people are able to play it, stream it. It's on YouTube. It's the places that people go these days to get their music. And then, of course, it'll be available on vinyl in about 6 to 8 weeks when they get, we're just manufacturing it now.
Gotcha. Now, are you guys doing this all on your own, or is there a label behind it?
Well, we're doing it on our own for now. And,
Okay.
when I have no idea what the future brings, if we're going to do it independently or license it to somewhere, or, who knows? It might just be more, direct, just to, you want a record, just call up Scotty.
Yeah.
Text.
Yeah. That's
I'll
awesome.
send you one.
Thank you.
Who needs a record label, right?
Yeah. I'm looking
But
forward.
if we did, there's thought of maybe like licensing it with Nuclear Blast or one of the other labels that are happening. We don't know. We just wanted to put it out really and
see what happens, and you never know what might happen. Someone might pick it up for a license. If not, you got new music out there. People will get it somehow, stream it, buy it, or whatever. At least there's new music out there. You know what I mean?
Hey, we got the dope shit. We'll figure out a way to get it to you though, huh?
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
worry about it.
It's a different time. Now,
you know where to go.
What I want to talk about is you guys are doing a live stream of your live performance, which is happening tomorrow. Could you give us details on that one?
Oh, yeah. So we came up with this idea to do a variety show. So it'll be some songs by Mordred, of course, and some comedy bits. We have some burlesque, and it's all happening 6 p.m. tomorrow on Veeps, Mordred at veeps.com. And it's a live stream, but it'll be available for, I think, a week after that to stream. So you don't have to watch it live. If you're coming in from someplace like Holland or England or Ireland or any, Germany, I don't want to list off each country, but if you're over in Europe or on the East Coast or doesn't work for you time-wise to see it live, you got up to a week to watch it. And please do. We're trying to get this thing off the ground, and I think people are gonna like it. I hope so, because it sure is fun making it.
Cool, man. I'm definitely gonna check it out tomorrow. I mean, due to the social distancing, at least I get to check it out online. You know what I mean?
Yes, and I think we feature an interview with you, my man. So.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You'll be
interviewing me. just like I'm interviewing you right now, but this is more of like a casual interview. It's not
Yeah,
really
because the
stiff.
one that I'm doing, I'm insisting on formal wear. So you got a tux, right? This is the casual. We'll do the tuxes for the next.
Yeah, we'll do the tux. I actually,
'Cause it
I
is
have
live TV.
I have my Grammy wear. How about that?
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. Bam.
There you go. There you go. But before I wrap this up, Scott, I want to thank you for jumping on, and I wish all the success to Mordred. I'm looking forward to what you guys do. And a couple of things. Now that you guys are up and running, are you guys going to go do this full time? Like everyone's on the same page to do it again?
Well, we've always been full time. We just also have full time jobs. So
yeah.
But yeah, we're in it to win it. We're doing it to the fullest of our abilities.
There you go.
We ain't spring chickens no more. You know what I'm saying?
No more. Yeah, we're not 20. We're not 20 no more. But I want to thank you for coming on. Now, a word to everyone watching: if anyone wants to check out Mordred or follow Mordred, if you want to plug in your website, your socials, you can do it right here, right now.
Oh shoot! I think we have a website, mordred.com, but we have a Facebook page and Instagram, Mordred Bands. So yeah, if you like it, like the pages, because the promoters and all the people, they look and see how many people are your friends and stuff. And we don't, we just want only friends on there. We don't want to have like some bots that,
Yeah,
how that works. We're not going to fake it. So we're not going to fake it, but with your help, we could make it. And really, might I add at this moment, with your help, Ted, I thank you so much for having me on. And you've done so many nice things in helping out Mordred over the years. And just, we appreciate it, brother.
It's my pleasure, Scott. I'm a fan. I've been a fan since, the first album. And I always thought you guys are kick-ass. So it's great for me to
I
have
too
you
am
on
your
here.
fan. And to play together on the Kill You on Command.
Yes, we did. That was a fun one.
That was fucking great. Except when you nodded to me and I started singing it, and you were like, "No, not now."
Yeah,
you and me for the song.
Yeah, I profit from violence.
Dude, cut.
Yeah, I nodded at you at the wrong time when I should have said, but
you were just nodding at me going like, no, Ted, you're nodding at me going like, isn't this killer? And I was like, oh, I sing now? You're like, yeah, no.
I actually kicked you after that. I go, no. And you go, oh yeah, that's right. That's right. But just
the man kicked me. He kicks like a mule too, folks, just to know.
There you go. You
all know that.
Well, I just want to let everyone know, thanks for tuning in. Everyone go check out Mordred. And for those of you who haven't heard of Mordred, go check out their back catalog and soak into that, and check out their new album and new EP, which Scott says their new singles online on all platforms, Spotify, YouTube, and whatnot. And I wish you all the success, Scott, and good luck tomorrow on your live stream. I'll be watching. And,
thank you, brother. Thank you for letting all the people know that we're doing this. And just
cool, man.
Thank you for tuning in, people. Please, Mordred at, what is it, mordred.veeps.com?
Yeah, that's it.
Being a fool. If you think this was fooling, you're going to really see some fooling.
All right. Scott, right on, man. I'll talk to you soon. All right, man. Let's see here.
What do I do?
They're working on it in the background.
Okay.
Then they'll jump on.
I'm going to go take a hit off a cigarette. I'll be right back.